Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears podcast. We back again, you know what I'm saying? Me and Verteezy is here again with you know what I'm saying? We gonna be your host for the night. You know what I'm saying? We talking about we watching TV, watching The Office on TV, and we gonna talk about a little bit of TV. You know what I'm saying? We do it for the people, we do it for our people. Verteezy, man, what we got going on?
Man, we're going to start with the Disney Channel, y'all. So, Raven Simone was on the podcast recently, and they asked her to give her Mount Rushmore of Disney stars. And, you know, she said Jet Jackson, she said herself, she said Lizzie McGuire, and she also said Shia LaBeouf. And a lot of people was just outraged because people wanted Miley Cyrus to be on that list. And I'm be honest, it's funny. I had the exact same list she got. like if we're talking about like 4 people that I just look at Disney, and to me that's the Mount Rushmore. Like those are 4 people, and it's because I'm about the same age as Raven Simone. She might be a couple years older than me, to be honest. But I grew up in that range where I grew up watching That's So Raven. I grew up watching the Hillary Duff Show. I grew up watching Even Steven, and Jet Jackson. You know, the famous Jet Jackson. That was one of my favorite shows as a kid, man. It was a black dude who was a secret agent, but also went to high school during the day. Like that was an amazing show. As well as I found out a couple years ago when I posted for Black History Month. A lot of times when you look up shows on networks, those are shows that air somewhere else. So, for example, like Sister Sister, Smart Guy, were shows that was aired on ABC or CW, and then Disney bought the rights to it. The famous Jet Jackson was the first original Disney live action show. Like that, so like that, to me, that's even more impressive that Disney picked a black person to be the very first show. Like to me, those are the 4 shows, because I feel like when we think about it, like there's other shows that came later in Disney's history that you could point at too. Like there's honorable mentions that, you know, we could talk about for days. I'm going to get into my honorable mentions, but I want you to name your 4 first.
We're doing just the people?
Yes, the people.
Okay, so I got Wayne Allwine and his wife, Rosso Taylor. You know what I'm saying? They was the voices for Mickey Mouse and Minnie.
Okay.
So them, you know what I'm saying? You can't have Disney without Mickey Mouse, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you think of Disney, you think of the mouse, you know what I'm saying?
That mouse is very powerful.
And it's funny because his wife was the voice of Minnie. So that was pretty cool. So I got them. I got Raven Simone, you know what I'm saying? I also got Selena Gomez, and I got Hannah Montana.
I'm not mad at any of those. I'm not mad at any of those because all of them people had great shows. Like, you know, especially like let's put the mouse to the side. All those other people had great shows and everything, so they well deserved. And some of my honorable mentions was like Tia and Tamari, the Maury sisters. Like Sister was a great Disney show. Their younger brother, Taj Maury, like Smart Guy. I love that show a lot.
So was Sister wasn't an ABC show and they bought them?
Yeah, it was an ABC show. That's why I made the differential between original Disney shows and shows that became synonymous with Disney.
I didn't really realize it came from a Disney show.
Yeah, by the time I was growing up, I knew those shows from Disney and not them other networks.
Okay.
You know, Kim Possible, the woman who played a Christy Romano, she had a real strong argument to be in my Mount Rushmore because she's the sister of Shia LaBeouf and Even Stevens, and she's one of the main characters in that show. And then she voiced Kim Possible, so it's like and at the same time, so she was basically like leading 2 different TV shows at the same time. She was very close to making it. You know, Kyla Pratt, The Proud Family was an amazing show. But she just didn't have. If she would have had like a live action show to go with it, that would have probably put her in there. And then, you know, to me, I guess persons that came the closest to cracking it was Dylan and Cole Sprouse. My Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They came the closest because I remember watching it as a kid, and then I remember when I stopped watching Disney, I remember like, hold up, they went from being a hotel to a cruise ship. They kept that shit going for a long time. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them niggas, you know, because I ain't gonna lie. As a kid watching it, and just because I'm 10 years younger than you, I thought it was cool. Like, damn, they live in a hotel. That must be a cool thing to do, living in a hotel. As an adult, I would never want to live in a hotel. But as a kid, I just thought that was the coolest, them living in that hotel.
Well, if it got free breakfast, you know what I'm saying, and free beer because some of them have free beer at happy hour in the day, I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying. I get some of that free breakfast. I know some of them hotels got some really good breakfast.
Yeah, some of them do.
But not so far anymore. But I know they used to have really good breakfast. I like
the ones where you can make your waffle.
Okay.
Was there any honorable mentions you had?
No, I didn't really have any honorable mentions. I didn't really have any honorable mentions.
Did you have any thoughts on some of the people I named?
The twins, Living in a Hotel, Sweet Life for Zack and Cody.
Sweet Life for Zack and Cody.
Yeah, I remember that show. That was a good show. I remember that show. So that was a good one, and also like I'm not sure if that was a Disney show, so I'm not even gonna say it. So I'm not even gonna say it because I'm not sure if it was a Disney show.
What was the show?
It had Zendaya in it.
Oh yeah, that was a Disney show. The Witches or Warlock or some shit that was a Disney show.
Her parents were spies, and
I might be confused with another show, but Zendaya had a Disney show. Okay. So the show you probably talking about was probably a Disney show, to be honest.
Okay, so I mean, if that's the one, I can look it up real quick. But yeah,
because there was some people that, like I said, the 2 names that did come up. People was mad that Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana was not on her Mount Rushmore, but then there was people from a younger generation that felt like Zendaya should have been on there because they felt like she carried it for a minute.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was Casey Undercover.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Casey Undercover. Yeah.
Yeah, so her show definitely, like I ain't mad at Zendaya. I mean, I'll say this right
here. She didn't have a long run, but I just remember her.
It was hot.
It
was hot. That kind of springboarded her to the star she is now because it led to opportunities like Euphoria and then everything she's doing in the movie world. As far as cartoons, like what would be your Mount Rushmore cartoons for Disney?
Cartoons, you know what I'm saying? I had, let's see, Mickey Mouse for sure. Go ahead. Let me think about that for a second. I didn't write that in the cartoons off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to mix them up.
So like the first cartoon I had for Disney, definitely would be like Recess, just because of the fact that I love that show so much. It's probably like my number 1, to be honest. And then, you know, because it was just basically kids on the playground, and it was just showing like what they was doing, and they was always getting into different adventures and stuff. So like to me, like Recess was definitely there. Kim Possible, I already talked about Kim Possible. Let me tell you something crazy about Kim Possible. I don't know if you ever saw Kim Possible, but me and MGH was talking about this recently. There's a scene, there's different episodes where that bitch is talking to Ron on some kind of flip device and they can see each other. This is before FaceTime. A few years later, we get FaceTime and we just act like it's not. We just act like whatever no more. We just act like whatever. It's not no big deal. But I remember as a kid, I thought it was so cool. Like, oh my god, they got technology where they can talk to each other and see each other face to face. This is dope. And now it's 2026, and nigga, I see a FaceTime call and I'd be like, "What you FaceTiming me for, nigga?" And like, the fuck wrong with you? Proud Family is definitely a show that's definitely up there because it was a black cartoon. So it was like it was dope that there was a black cartoon. It had Carlos Mencia in it as the Mexican neighbor, Hispanic neighbor. Tommy Davidson is the voice of the father of Proud Family. You know, you just got a nice cast of people. Kyla Pratt is the main, it's Penny Proud. And Proud Family always talked about real issues. Like they had a Black History episode. They talked about colorism. Like, looking back at it, there are episodes that they talked about that I look at and be like, damn, they talked about some real ass shit as a kid that I just didn't even think about. Like they talked about rejection. Like Penny got rejected by some boys, but then she picked other boys that was nicer. And, it showed like be a good person. There was episodes where she had opportunities to be mean, but she had to be a good person. So I thought Proud Family was definitely dope. And then my last one would be Aladdin, just because I like all the movies, and the TV show was amazing too. Like I really like the TV show. I played the video game. Like the video game was something that that I love. So those would be like my Mount Rushmore of Disney TV shows.
Okay, so cartoon TV shows from Disney. I'm gonna go Doug. You know what I'm saying? I used to like watching Doug. It wasn't something that's gonna pop, but it was just something I used to always watch. It was Doug. You know what I'm saying? And it was funny because he only had 5 strings of hair, and he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't got no strings of hair.
Doug was stressed.
Now I ain't got no strings of hair. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go. It's an X-Men. You know what I'm saying? And I always remember Tailspin. And as one,
that was a really good show.
As growing up, you know what I'm saying, Tailspin, and I like Recess. That I remember watching Recess too. Yeah, I like Recess.
You know what Tailspin remind me of, man? And I ain't gonna put them in my Rushmore, but they definitely live in my honorable. Gargoyles, man. I fucked with Gargoyles, man. Yeah, I fucked with that show.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was one of my shows because it was just such an interesting concept. Because them niggas used to go to war. They used to be fighting motherfuckers at nighttime. Mm-hmm. But then they had to rush back to wherever the fuck they came from before the sun came out. Them niggas turned to stone, man. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, that definitely was one of my shows right there. But I fuck with your Mount Rushmore for the most part. Like, there's nothing that I hear that I would be like, I'm mad at that. Like, I feel like with a lot of these shows, there's certain shows that could be interchangeable at for the most part. Moving on to Nickelodeon.
But those just my cartoons for Disney. I had 4 shows too.
Oh, you had 4 live action.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, what was the live action shows?
Yeah, for the shows, I had Wizard of Waverly Place.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's always a good show when they make a spinoff on it.
Yeah.
And so they made a spinoff on it in 2024. And of course and then that's why I had part of Selena Gomez I just remember that show, you know what I'm saying? Even as an adult, I remember that show as my kids watching it, you know what I'm saying, watching it with them. So I more remember of that than of anything else. So and that's why I had Selena Gomez on the Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? And same with Hannah Montana. You know what I'm saying? I remember my kids watching Hannah Montana, and I'm watching it with them, and that's why I had Miley Cyrus on the billboard. Same with Raven. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much all those 3 of those, that's why I pretty much had them on the Mount Rushmore because I remember watching their shows. You know what I'm saying? And those were the shows that stuck out to me the most. And another one, like you were saying, it's probably I think Disney probably bought them out because I don't remember it being on Disney Channel. I remember it being on TGI Friday, Boy Meets World.
Yeah, that's one of those shows that I was talking about how it was on another channel, but then Disney bought the rights to it. So that's my Mount Rushmore, to be honest, and it's probably why I wasn't even thinking about it, because I wrote down our shows, is because it all lines up with my Mount Rushmore play for people.
Yeah.
Because it would be Even Stevens, led by Shia LaBeouf. It would be the Hillary Duff Show, led by Lizzie McGuire. It would be That's So Raven, led by Raven Simone. And then the famous Jake Jackson, it would be that. Those would be like my 4 TV shows, live action shows that I felt like, yeah, Disney rocked with those shows. But moving on to Nickelodeon, though, what will be your Mount Rushmore for Nickelodeon?
So I'm gonna go people first. You know what I'm saying? And this is just it's 2 of them, but it's really just one of them, because one of them just, his career has just outlasted the other guys. But you can't say one without the other. You know what I'm saying? Keenan and Kel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can't say one without the other. So I'm gonna just put, they gonna have to split their head, Two-Face. You know what I'm saying?
Peanut and jelly.
Yeah. So Keenan and Kel, some brothers. People always thought they was some lames because of stuff that they did on the TV show. But if you was a kid watching that, you love those guys. You know what I'm saying? And as they're adults now, they're especially Ken Thompson. He's in commercials and everything. Like he's still got that quirky funniness, but he does a good job with what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's a great actor, great comedian. You know what I'm saying? I can't give him nothing but his flowers on that one, man. I wish Kel could have continued just like he was, because they had the same skills. You know what I'm saying? It was good bouncing off each other. I just wish Kel could have stuck with it too, but he went to his thing, so I guess he, you know what I'm saying? But Keenan and Kel. Ariana Grande, you know what I'm saying? She's one of the biggest pop stars, you know what I'm saying, to name right now. I remember watching her show. I used to watch her show, and I used to always say, does she really talk like that? Because she had that squeaky voice.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, does she really talk like that? Is that her real voice? You know what I'm saying?
I spend the same thing.
So, like, but yeah, so, and then she just evolved so much after that. You know what I'm saying? I just had to put her on the list. You know what I'm saying? Same with this next lady. You know what I'm saying? Keke Palmer. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't on the Nickelodeon for the longest time, but she just evolved to such a big major player in her acting career and everything else that she does. You know what I'm saying? I just had to put her on my list too, because I remember watching her when she was a kid growing up, and now she's the boss bee.
She the bitch. She that bitch.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta put her on there. You know what I'm saying? And then my last one for on last face I got on there, or last head, you know, or can I say square pants? You know what I'm saying? Tom Kenny. You know what I'm saying? He got an amazing run. You know what I'm saying? The original, and he's still standing. You know what I'm saying? The voice of SpongeBob SquarePants. You know what I'm saying? When I think of Nickelodeon, I think of SpongeBob SquarePants, and it was funny that they still making new episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. They got movies and everything. It's like he the man, like, and it's like you can still watch that show today and laugh. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. It's still rocking, man. But for me, so as far as people go, it would be Keenan and Kel. I got them too. It's funny because when you said you got 2 people and you got to put them together, I didn't know if you were gonna say so. I didn't, because I got 2 sets of people, so I didn't know which set you was gonna say. The second set that's like that is Drake and Josh.
Okay.
They held it down for a minute on Nickelodeon. iCarly, I feel like that was the last great run of Nick, like the iCarly show. They even rebooted it and brought it back, or at least they were supposed to bring it back. And I just feel like Miranda Musgrove, like people love Miranda Musgrove, so like everything she was doing, like to me, she would be one of my Rushmore to people. And then the last one. And and it's sad, man, because I'm gonna say this person's name, and I don't think no one's had I don't think no one's had a harder fall from grace than anyone that we've named total. But when we had the conversation, I brought that name up to you a year or two ago when a documentary came out, and you didn't seem quite familiar with the person at the time, which is just so sad. I mean, it shows that you're 10 years older than me, but she was a mega freaking star. Everybody thought she was going to be the next big Hollywood star, Amanda Bynes. Like, she was on All That. She was basically the face of All That. All That was like Saturday Night Live for kids, for people that don't remember. And Kenan and Kel was part of that. I think Nick Cannon was part of All That for a little bit. But with all this great talent, Amanda Bynes was the star. She took that and then did the Amanda Show. And this is why Amanda has to be in my Mount Rushmore. She was the star of All That, worked with Kenan and Kel, like I just said, did the Amanda Show. I just gave you two names on my Mount Rushmore. They was her siblings on the show. They like Drake and Josh was part of the show. They was connected on the Amanda Show somehow, and then they got their own show from it. But the Amanda Show was like one of the biggest things Disney had at the time, and she was just so funny. She was doing movies. Nickelodeon was making original movies at the time. Then she started making blockbuster movies and everything. And I just thought that she was gonna be that bitch. And then now she done lost her goddamn mind like Britney Spears. I don't think nobody had a harder fall from grace than she has. Like, I just saw her take a picture with 50 Cent not so long ago, and I was like, damn, that bitch look bad.
Oh, for real?
And I remember when I was a kid, she was a teenager. And she looked, and for a white girl, she was bad. Mm-hmm. She could get it. And now it's like, I don't know if I want to give you the 40. If I do, it's just to say I fucked the star. But it's not because of quality. As far as my Mount Rushmore for TV shows, it would kind of look very similar. It would be All That. It would be Kenan and Kel. It would be Drake and Josh. It would be iCarly. And what's so crazy, like, I didn't have the Amanda Show as my Mount Rushmore TV shows just because I think these shows are better. Like Kenan and Kel, one of the first black TV shows that we had on. In fact, it was the first black TV show we had on Nickelodeon, and it was actually the first live action show they did outside of a comedy sketch. Because I remember they talked about it on Quiet on Set, that Dan Snyder, he actually looked at them and they wanted to do it. And then, like I said, Amanda got her show later, but they was like the blueprint. And where Kenan and Kel was just so, like you said, you gave them your flowers earlier. That show was just so amazing because the show was so funny. They had two movies in the show's universe. So I'm not even talking about Good Burger. It was like two movies, like, you know how they do TV movies for a TV show? Mm. They had two movies that was very good. The Halloween movie was probably the best. And then they had Good Burger, which that was pretty much produced by Nick. And that's one of the few times when you get a show that's really supposed to be like a TV movie, I guess, become what it became. Because it became like a blockbuster hit for some reason. And they didn't think it was going to be that. And Good Burger, I watched that shit not so long ago, last year. Mm. And I still laughed at it. And then they dropped Good Burger 2. And I was happy to see that Kenan and Kel was able to come back together. Like, I remember on Saturday Night Live, they both came together. I thought that was dope. Then they did Good Burger 2. I saw Good Burger 2. I liked it. I thought it was good. I ain't had no real complaints, man. I thought it was still funny. The only thing that I thought was crazy was Kel makeup was fucked up in the movie. Like, that shit looked fake as fuck. Like, his face looked fake as fuck.
It looked like it was melting.
Yeah, it looked like it was melting. But the movie, I had no complaints with the movie, man. The movie was dope. iCarly and Nick did such a good job creating his universe, almost like how Marvel has this universe. Because, like I said, Drake and Josh was connected to the Amanda Bynes show. But then iCarly was the sibling of Drake and Josh. People forget that. And then somehow she got her own show. And I remember in her first episode, I guess she moved to her own place or whatever, and Drake and Josh visited her. And it was like, hold up, bro. Like, so y'all gave her own show. Like Nickelodeon was really doing spinoffs. Mm-hmm. They was really doing spinoffs, and they was doing a big one with those spinoffs, man. And all them shows was like great. And then, like I said, All That, they need to bring all that back, to be honest, because I feel like we need a younger generation that needs something like all that. Because as a kid, I remember watching all that, and when I tell you, it literally was like Saturday Night Live for kids. It was just a comedy sketch show that was just like Saturday Night Live, and they made jokes about different stuff, and they had celebrity guest appearances. People forget they had musical guest appearances. Like Coolio performed on it. Shout out to Diddy. Diddy was on there one time. Like they had musical guests on there. Oh, and speaking of Coolio, probably the best theme song of all these songs is the Kenan and Kel show, man. Like shout out to Coolio, rest in peace.
Okay, so my show list, I'm going the Fairly Odd Parents, you know what I'm saying? Timmy Turner, you know what I'm saying? Cosmo and Wanda, you know what I'm saying? They had a nice run, you know what I'm saying? I got to give them the Fairly Odd Parents, you know what I'm saying? That's on my list, you know what I'm saying? Second, Rugrats, you know what I'm saying? That was on my list, you know what I'm saying? The Tommy, Chucky, you know what I'm saying? Phil, you know what I'm saying? Angelica, you know what I'm saying? And even they even had spinoffs, you know what I'm saying? All grown up, and then Rugrats preschool dads, you know what I'm saying? It's Rugrats. You all you gotta say is Rugrats. People know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? To this day, you know what I'm saying? To this day. Okay, of course, I'm going with SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? I already talked about, you know what I'm saying, the voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny. You know what I'm saying? SpongeBob. And it's so funny, it's like SpongeBob came out in 99 and it's still going to the day. Today, it's still going. You know what I'm saying? It's got a dash. It ain't got no ending. And then the last one, Dora the Explorer. You know what I'm saying? And these are all cartoons. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put none of the live talk shows, but if I had to, I would probably talk about some of the people that made my list as the actors.
Yeah.
But Dora the Explorer, you know what I'm saying? They even made a real life movie out of that.
Yeah.
But Dora the Explorer, I just remember my kids growing up and working and going to school and early education and child development and all that stuff. That was just one of them shows that it was always on TV. You know what I'm saying? If it was a kid in the house or a kid in the building, Dora the Explorer was on.
It was a popular show, undeniable.
And it's like that's all you ever saw. Dora the Explorer, Dora the Explorer, everything, Dora the Explorer, everything. But that's why I got it on my list.
Yeah, man. I'm not mad at any of those, man. I'll say this before I get into my cartoons. I do want to give my honorable mention for live action shows, and I only got two: Ned's Declassified and Zora 101. Zora 101, I felt like I had to give it the respect because I want to say the star was Jamie Spears, Britney Spears' little sister, and that was just an amazing show. And Ned's Declassified, that was the hardest show to leave off my Mount Rushmore in terms of TV shows, just because like the full title is Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide or whatever, and it literally just was basically the show was about trying to show you how to survive high school. And at the time the show came out, I'm the same ages as those guys, so it's different for me because I'm living my life as the show's going on. So they're talking about high school. I'm entering high school. I'm in high school. And so I can relate to a lot of stuff he's talking about in the show. Like he has a little notebook and he says, lesson number 1, we need to do this. And like, I'm like, okay, cool. And it's like, everything's matching up to my actual experience. And that's why that show was kind of hard. Because some of the other shows I named outside of iCarly, like some of the other shows, I was probably like in elementary school when them shows was really popular. So like there's a nostalgia factor of I'm a kid looking up to them guys versus Ned's Declassified and iCarly. I view those more like those are my peers. So I'm watching this show as I'm growing up. So it was a different feeling watching Ned's Declassified. As far as cartoons, man, Rugrats, I feel like it's hard. It's gonna be hard not to have Rugrats on the list. Like if we had 100 people, I would need to know all the 4 cartoons you name for me to just not hear Rugrats and be like, okay, cool. But I would need to hear every single one. I don't know if leaving Rugrats off is acceptable because you can watch Rugrats today, and that shit aged well. Because if to be honest, when I as a grown man, Rugrats was kind of progressive. Like Angelica mom had a job and she was the breadwinner. Then the twins, their mom was a tomboy. And she actually, the gender roles, if you remember, was swapped because the mom acted more like the dad than the dad did. And the dad lived at home. Well, not lived at home, but basically was a stay-at-home dad and cooked and did all the cleaning and shit. And no disrespect, he was kind of a bitch-ass nigga because there was times where there would be arguments with other couples and the mom basically had to stand up. So it's like, it was a very progressive show. You had the black family, Susie Carmichael. And I don't know if you remember, I recently resaw the episode where they introduced her character. They did not have no stereotypes. And looking as an adult, I'm like, that's impressive. Both the parents had money. The dad was a TV show runner. The mom was like some art museum, like she had a refined job and stuff. The Pickles came in the house, like Tommy Pants, and they came in the house and they like, yo, y'all living good. We some broke niggas compared to y'all. and to be honest, Susie had the most money out of all the families. Susie family had the most money, which is a very progressive thing because this show came out in the 90s, Brian. I mean, Rose. This came out in the 90s, man. So like Rugrats to me, definitely that number one spot. Wild Thornberries, I fuck with that show a lot. That's gonna be my Mount Rushmore. Like, and I think it's just a cool concept. Like the power to talk to animals. Like there's times I sit down now, I got a cat, and the cat just be looking at me sometimes. They be on the opposite couch and it squints its eyes. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck you thinking? Like, what you thinking right now? I be wanting to just talk to the nigga, but what the fuck you got going on? You know? So like that show itself, like I just thought the concept was cool. There was a lot of different things. Plus, when just like Rugrats, you get 2 movies. Like there's 2 Wild Thornberry movies. Plus, man, when they did the mashup, when they did the mashup with the Rugrats and Wild Thornberries movie, that was really dope. That made my childhood because it's like 2 of my favorite shows coming together. Which side note, props to Nickelodeon because they did a lot of shit like that. They did a lot of crossover with their shows that made you want to watch other shows. So if you was a fan of this show, like Fairly Odd Parents, you were watching that, then Jimmy Neutron pop up, and you like, who the fuck is this nigga? I gotta watch his show to see what the fuck going on. Then you watching Jimmy, and then Timmy would pop up in his show. It's like, oh, what the fuck going on? So they did a very good job with that. Rocket Power, man. I'm going to consider them people of color because I think they're like Hawaiian or whatever, and Samoan. You know, so I don't think they're white with that's tan. Man, they're people of color, man. That was a dope ass show, man. Like I used to like that show because to me, that show was kind of like how me and my friends were, especially when I was in the neighborhood growing up, and then even when I came to Wood Valley. Wake up in the morning, let's find some shit to do all day. We ain't trying to sit in the house. We want to do activities. We want to play basketball, football, walk around the neighborhood. And that's pretty much was the show. You ain't never see them niggas in Rocket Power just sitting around the house playing video games. It was, we finna go to the beach, we finna rollerblade, we finna skate, we finna find some physical activity, and we finna get out this motherfucking house. And if you in my age range, and your age range too, most likely Rose, nigga, that's what it was. We trying to go to our friend's house so we can do some shit. I ain't could walk to your house and nigga to just sit in your house all day. Mm-hmm. You know, we finna walk around the neighborhood, and that Rocket Power was dope. And then probably my favorite, Hey Arnold, man. Hey Arnold was dope, man. I love Hey Arnold, man. Like Hey Arnold got like 2-3 different movies off of it. They dropped the movie finally revealing his parents and stuff, and his parents was alive the whole time. They was just lost and shipwrecked on some crazy island. Like his grandparents was very dope, which was another aspect that I thought was kind of dope from my perspective, because I had a close relationship with my grandparents, and he lived with his grandparents, and they helped raise him. And you know what's so funny? Grandpa in the show used to call Hey Arnold Short Man all the time. Mm-hmm. Let's go Short Man. Let's go Short Man. So then it was revealed that's his last fucking name. Short Man. Short Man is his last. I thought it was a nickname, nigga. No, he was just calling the nigga by his last fucking name, man. Short Man. You know, but also like Hey Arnold did a great job making you invested in all of their characters, man. From Hey Arnold to Gerald, which once again, we being progressive again. The best friend of the main character is black.
Mm-hmm.
And Gerald was smooth. He was athletic. He kind of was talking to the hoes. He was a smooth customer, man. You know, so like, yeah, Hey Arnold was definitely one of my shows that I fucked with. I could watch it today. I'll be watching it today sometime. I mean, in today's time, and I still enjoy it, man. So Hey Arnold definitely will round out my Mount Rushmore.
That's what's up.
Any honorable mentions you had?
Honorable mentions, it would just be the shows that the people that was on my honorable mention, like so we're going Cat, you know, Sam and Cat. I didn't watch a lot of that, but yeah, I just remember my daughter watching that Sam and Cat, you know what I'm saying? And the Ken and Kel show, you know what I'm saying? All that, and then they end up having their own show, Ken and Kel, you know what I'm saying? So that show, and then True Jackson would be on my mention too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. For me, man, I got about 5 honorable mentions, man. It's Told by Ginger. I mean, the show was like basically following a girl in high school, and the whole show was like she had a diary. So basically, the reason why it was called as Told by Ginger, the episode started and ended with her writing her diary.
Okay.
And so basically, we was basically just seeing the story from her point of view because it was literally her point of view because we was reading her diary, and that's how we got the show, which I thought was always dope. And as a kid, I was like, man, I kind of want to have a diary, man. I kind of want to write about my day and what the fuck going on because she made it look so cool. Angry Beavers, like that was a show that me and C's ain't here, but C's love that show too. It was a very dope show. It was 2 Beaver brothers and one. I ain't gonna lie, the way my mind worked, one was yellow and one was, I guess, brown, but I always just looked at it like one was light skinned and one was dark skinned. You know, and the dark skinned one was always angry and the light skinned one was always happy. The dark skinned one was kind of dumb and the light skinned one was actually smart. You know, but it was, to me, it was a cool show. They lived in like a little beaver dam too that they had lived, but when they got inside that shit looked like a house though.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a dope ass show. I fucked with that show. All Real Monsters. I thought that was a good show, man, because it was just a show just about monsters, to be honest. And they were just doing their thing, just chilling, living their life. They would eat worms, eat gross stuff, do gross shit. But like as a kid, like I'm not thinking they're monsters. I'm just watching the show, just enjoying the characters themselves. Jimmy Neutron was definitely a show that, you know, definitely would be a honorable mention. Like Fairly Odd Parents, I fucked through that show a lot too. Mm-hmm. But Jimmy Neutron definitely, I feel like it's a show that don't get enough props because I feel like it was a lot of good things that Jimmy Neutron did because he was like a boy genius and he would always make these inventions. He had his little best friends and one was fat and he was kind of lame and the other one was kind of skinny and that nigga was kind of just weird a little bit. That nigga was kind of weird. Hey, side note, speaking of Fairly Odd Parents, do you know who voices Chester and Fairly Odd Parents to one of Timmy's best friends? We was just talking about that nigga the other night, Frankie Muniz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle voices that nigga Chester. That's what you call white people get into the money. Mm-hmm. That nigga had his own hit show. And then he said, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna voice this other character and get paid to do it.
Hey, get it how you live.
And then and this was the show that probably had the most, you know, chance to be in my Mount Rushmore, but it was hard to put it there. Man, Cat Dog, man, I love that show.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I love that show. Like it don't even make sense how they was whatever they were, because looking back at it, it's like y'all was conjoined.
Yeah,
you know, it was a cat and a dog conjoined, and they had a mouse that lived in the house. Like that was the other part. It was a mouse that lived in the house, and the mouse used to fuck with them niggas. It was so many episodes that was funny because there'll be episodes where Cat would try to get some pussy. So Cat would basically try to dress Dog up as a tail and try to talk to the bitch, and Dog basically couldn't stay quiet. He would, you know, come and rap, and the bitch would be like, "What?" And Dog had an episode like the same. But looking back at it, you know, as a grown man, so let's say you would have brought the bitch back to the house. Where y'all dick at?
Transformers, robots in disguise.
Like Y'all couldn't even do the do to do the do.
It was before that time.
Yeah, no, way before that time. Way before that time, man. But yeah, those would be my shows, man. Any final thoughts, Rose?
Oh man, nah, man. I ain't got no final thoughts right now, man. But just talking about the Oscars, man. Hoping we'll probably pick up on the Oscars, the nominees and everything next week. But yeah, but just shout out to everybody that's on the Oscars, and hopefully Michael B. Jordan comes out on top.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Like Rose said, man, we in the middle of the Oscars, and you know it's been a dope night for the Oscars so far, man. A lot of people have won. You know, sinners have won a couple awards, and you know other people have won deserving awards, man. So shout out to the great Ryan Coogler for winning his first Oscar tonight for Best Original Screenplay. In the words of Airbnb Rakim piece.
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch us at the next light, man. We in traffic, and I'm back quiet.
Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. For sure, MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.